Hey folks, this is Danny Jugan. Welcome to our 7th development video for Access Football 2017. In this video we're going to take a look at all of the changes that we have made and implemented since our previous beta version, which was 2.0. Beta version 3.0 is now live on Steam. If you have pre-ordered, you have access to this version. If you haven't pre-ordered and you'd like to play this, you can pre-order now to get access to the beta. You can make pre-orders at accessleague.com. And you will get a key emailed to you within 24 hours. So we're really excited to show you all the stuff we've been working on. Let's get right to it. So first things first, you'll notice we've got a brand new place select menu, place select process. This will hopefully be more in line with kind of the current expectation for football games, as well as be able to provide you with a little bit more information while you are selecting plays. So I've got a controller plugged in right now, so I'll be using that. If you're just using mouse and keyboard, these buttons wouldn't show up on the screen. So let's take a look. So on the left side, you'll select your formation by going up and down. And on the right side, it's going to show you not only a visual representation of that formation, but also the numbers that correspond to the players that you have at those positions. So 24 is our running back for Pittsburgh, and you can see where he's in all of those formations. So that can be beneficial if you're trying to target a specific player. Also, the colors of these circles will indicate the player's fatigue level. So the gray is the standard rested. If they are yellow, that means they're a little bit winded, and if it goes into red, then they're gassed. We also provide for you a quick link to the substitution menu here, so you can sub out those players quicker if you like. And the only other thing we have new is this Ask Mike section. So if you don't want to go through the process of picking a play, you can just hit X or click on the button if you're using a mouse and keyboard, and Mike Steele, who is the analyst, will pick a play for you based off of obviously down and distance, time left in the game, score, that sort of thing. So kind of a nice feature that we've added just to speed things along if you don't want to go through the process of picking a play. So you'll select your formation, and then you'll go through and pick plays. So I'm just going to do this tail ISO here with X. So one of the things we have adjusted because of this is audibling. So if you hit your left bump to pull up audibles, you can now cancel out of audibles by hitting left bump again. This is something that you couldn't do previously, and we had a lot of feedback on. You couldn't cancel out of an audible. Now you could obviously just select the same play, which would be kind of the same thing as canceling out, but now you just have that quick, I changed my mind, cancel out of an audible. So that's the first thing that we've added, and I've got a big list here of some things that I want to let you guys know that we've done. The first past that is that we've added quarterback sprinting while you have the ball. So I'm actually going to audible to a pass play. Let's go to this short out here. And so we have adjusted some of the buttons to make this possible. So if you are using aimed passing, where you actually aim with the right stick on the controller or the mouse, the sprint button is a little bit different, and so is the passing button. So now if you hold the right trigger, that is a sprint button, where it used to be A. So we've moved it to the right trigger, and the pass button, if you're using a controller for aimed passing, to release the ball is going to be the right bumper. Now we understand this can be a little bit confusing, so before I show that off, I will show you one thing that we have added to the pause menu. So if you hit start, you'll see here I got a different, this is what you guys will see. We have a brand new pause menu where we can access all of the different stuff. This is more in line with our 2017 design. You can go into controller layouts down here, and it shows you, and you can toggle left and right, go through all the different sections. So this is offense before snap, offensive run controls. Here if we look at the pass controls, you'll see that speed burst is the right trigger, and throwing the ball is actually the right bumper. So if you forget and you want to know what buttons do what, you can refer back to these on the pause menu. Okay, so we are passing. I believe I am in aimed passing mode, so I will leave this like this. And we have a new pass circle. You can see it here, just a different design instead of the white circle. And while I am passing, I can sprint, and you can see that that yellow bar, or excuse me, the white bar for the sprint does go away, and you can sprint behind the line of scrimmage. That was something that is new. I will caution you, if you are sprinting and you try to throw the ball, you will be wildly inaccurate. Not advisable. Again, we try to create as many simulation aspects as possible, so you don't see too many quarterbacks sprinting and then trying to throw the ball, or at least trying to make accurate throws when they do that. So that's something new. We talked about new playbook design, and we have implemented player versus player mode. That is something that is new in this new beta version. Local player versus player, so two players, same computer, two different controllers. That was previously locked, but we have now gone through and tested that, and everything is good to go. So we have unlocked that for you. You guys can access that on the title screen when you go through there. A couple other gameplay improvements and changes that we have made. The pass distance has now been limited based off of the quarterback's throw power. So if I go in here and I select a pass, so we're doing deep seams on the field, and then I take the quarterback and I run way back here. Previously, you could throw the ball as far as you wanted, and the pass circle will still show all the way down there, but if I try to chuck this ball, you'll see that it doesn't go where it was supposed to go. It's basically as far as the quarterback can throw, and that is based off of the quarterback's throw power. So no more throwing the ball 100 yards down the field. That is something that has changed. You see now that we've got two of our players that are now fatigued. You see them showing up in yellow. So you can either choose to sub them out or maybe run a play that doesn't involve them quite as much. On the defensive side of the ball, you can now sprint. That was something that you couldn't do previously. So you can now sprint as a defensive player using the same right trigger button. And last video, we asked for some feedback on the sprint mechanic in general, and it was about a 2-second sprint, and it was a noticeable improvement. And the feedback that we got from you guys was it wasn't very sim, it was too fast, it was kind of arcadey, and so what we've done is we have increased the duration of the sprint, but we have decreased the speed bonus that it gives. So I'm going to do a sweep to the outside. You'll kind of see here, I'm sprinting now. It's a very, it's a slight improvement in the speed, but it lasts for a little bit longer. So that's something that we've listened to you guys. Definitely appreciate feedback there. The speed of the game was something that we got a lot of feedback on, and so hopefully you can tell that we made some adjustments that it should play a lot slower. And even when we talk about the velocity of the football coming out of the quarterback's hands, there was a lot of feedback that we got there. That is something that we have changed as well. I'm going to switch over to, go into options. I'm going to go to icon passing just to show you guys a little bit difference here. So the speed that the ball comes out of the quarterback's hands has now been changed. You see we have some physics there that we're still working the kinks out of. The pass landing spot is something that is new. So as I throw a ball, you will now see the ball landing spot, or where you expect the ball to land. I'm going to throw to A across the field, even though this is not an advisable throw. That yellow marker on the field indicates where the ball will land. So that's something that is new this year. I'll show you off the sprinting on defense. Okay, so let's keep going. The midfield logos have been reduced in size to be a little bit more in line with what you would expect to see on an actual football field. I'll show you guys here a little bit. So this is about the size of the logos, and you'll see these about the same size for all the other ones. Previously they were gigantic and were almost touching the numbers in some cases, so we have adjusted those. We have a new kick meter, and I'll show you guys how that works in just a second. So lots of feedback we got on kicking. It was really difficult to kick field goals and extra points with the aim meter, and we had some some logical sim type things built into that, where the harder you kick, the more difficult it is to aim. But the bottom line was that we were making it too difficult to kick. And so we completely redesigned the kick. So I will show you here just a basic field goal. We're obviously too far away. So on the right side here, we have a new power meter design. You notice the A meter is gone. We have wind here. It's not quite implemented yet. We will get to that soon. But you also have an arrow here. Now this arrow can be aimed up, down, left, and right. And so this is what will be the basis for your kicks. So if we want to kick way over here for whatever reason, that's where you will aim it. Now obviously we're going to add wind into that, and so that's going to affect that, and the accuracy of the kicker will be kind of the deviation from your ideal aim spot where you select with the kicking arrow. So definitely let us know what you think about the new kicking, whether or not that's gets you close to that 80% mark, which is what we expect to see across the board with field goal success. A couple more things here I want to show you guys. I'm going through my list. We have some pop-up stats that you will see during the actual game. I'm waiting until this loads up again and we'll get into it. Okay, so let me run a quick play here. So run to the outside, doesn't make it very far. What we have here now, you'll notice, is down at this bottom right, we've got a drive summary that pops up. And right now, the drive summary is going to show on every play, except for, obviously ending drives, extra points and that sort of thing. But we plan on, in the future, mixing this in with player stats. And the idea here is if you are on defense and you make an interception, it might pop up that player's stats. Or if you make a tackle for a loss, it might pop up the defender's stats. Same thing on offense. If you have a receiver that catches a ball, his stats might pop up down here at the beginning of the next play. Just trying to add to the presentation of the game, make it a little bit more enjoyable for you guys to play, and also add to the elements of the AI versus AI where you're just watching or spectating. We're adding some stuff there. All right, a couple more things here. We've got the player indicator circles. If you're playing a two-player game, the player 2 circle will be red and the player 1 circle will be blue. But if you're playing against the AI, looks like he broke his ankle on that one. If you're playing against the AI, it'll be gray. So that's just a couple visual distinctions there. And I think that is about it. The last thing that I want to cover is what we have planned for our fourth and final update. We will do one more beta release probably in a few weeks. And I've already started the list of things that we need to work on with that. There are some AI improvements that we need to make, specifically in the passing. When we adjusted the velocity of the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands and basically made passes a little bit slower, that affected how difficult it is to complete passes. And so we need to do some realistic adjustments on both the offensive and defensive side to make it more in line with actual football. Let me show you an example here. If I make this pass and I throw it to receiver A and I pause it immediately. So I pause the game and I want you to notice what happens. As soon as this ball is released and we see that this is where it's going to land, everyone is reacting to the ball. All of these guys, and that's not realistic. When the quarterback throws the ball, it's not realistic for the entire defense to merge on one position. So this is something that we're going to make adjustments to. We'll look at the player's awareness attributes in addition to whether or not the player is facing the quarterback and would actually be aware that the pass was thrown. Because right now, because the ball gets there slower, you get a lot of players clumped up on one position kind of waiting for the ball, and that's not realistic. So that's one of the things we're going to look at. We're going to be adjusting the camera a little bit. The camera is going to go to where the ball is going to land rather than just following the ball. So there should be some camera improvements there. We have some AI work that we need to do as far as play calling, and there's a couple other bugs that exist that we are aware of. We just need to take the time to take care of. So that's what we got. We also have one more huge surprise coming this year. I won't quite mention it yet, but we will definitely be releasing information on that soon. And that's going to wrap it up for us today for our latest development video. Again, I want to give a big thanks to the community, to all of our supporters, all of those that have pre-ordered the game and provided feedback. We are so excited about the progress that we have made, and we really feel like we're building this game with you guys. So we're looking forward to the future. Looking forward to where we're going to go, and eventually the final release of Axis Football 2017, the first or second week of August. So thanks so much. Would love to know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Hit us up on Twitter or Facebook. And until then, thank you so much.